Hello and welcome to Ian and Friends. I am Ian Dille. I'm here with Michael Sheehan. Sorry.
Hello.
We've got an exciting show planned for you today. We had the World Championships last weekend, cyclo-cross, and it was pretty exciting. What was your highlight, Michael?
We were both texting each other like in the morning during the women's race on Saturday, just like, are you seeing this? I can't believe this. We were both yelling at our screens because there was just an amazing battle going on between Katie Compton, our American champion, and Sana Kant, the defending world champion.
Yeah, it was back and forth the whole time. Sana got out in front early. Katie chased her down, passed her. Coming into the last lap, Katie had almost a 10-second gap. And Sana caught back up, and it was a battle right until the end. Katie ended up second. Sana was first. I assume if you're watching this show, you're familiar with what went down, and we happen to have a special guest with us here today.
We do. Katie FN Compton.
Yeah, let's bring her on. Katie has been extremely patient coming on to our show today. We've kept her up past her bedtime and
in Belgium.
Yeah. Thanks for being here with us, Katie. Last time I spoke to you was in Reno, Nevada. You had just won the national championships. You said that your expectations for Worlds were to be on the podium, but you weren't putting a lot of pressure on yourself. Everybody else was putting that pressure on you, though. I saw the CFO of Trek tweeted that he was expecting a Katie Compton win. Everything was in your favor, the mud, the hills. It really seemed like, not necessarily your race to lose, but if there was going to be a perfect course, perfect conditions for you, you obviously being on some of the best form of your whole career, what a race. For you, what was it like, dealing with that pressure or not dealing with that pressure and not putting those types of expectations on yourself that you were there to win a world title and instead just go out and have the best race you could?
I tried to not stress over it too much. I think everybody else was stressing over it enough for me. And since I've been to enough world championships and I've made those mistakes in the past with putting pressure on yourself and overthinking things where you just get in your own way, and by race day, you're just not there. Your body kind of shuts down and you don't put in a very good performance. So I was really just trying to relax and not worry about it, not stress out over it. I did like the course. I thought the course was the hardest world championships I've ever done. And I think, I had good legs. I had a good race. I think the biggest part for me was we didn't choose a good pit box. I think that was negative for our race. And then I never figured out the line on the descent. So I struggled with that every lap. And that was just frustrating for me in general. Sana was better on that part. She had the line set and I was losing time. So that was just frustrating in itself. But it was just I had a good race and I can't be too disappointed because Sana was just faster in the end. I did everything I could, and I think the running was a little bit much for me. She's a better runner than I am, so that was a bit of a struggle. But I was close, and we were going back and forth, and I think I almost cracked her at some point, but that last trip through the pit where I lost like 7 seconds in just getting through the pit, I think it just gave her just enough kind of motivation to chase harder and catch me. And then she got me on that descent, and I was just chasing that whole last lap. So a little unfortunate there, but I couldn't have gone any harder. And I rode a pretty good race, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I would definitely say you rode a fantastic race, and it was exciting at home for all of us who are watching. Michael?
So I saw the very, just off the line, it looked like you were kind of like, you weren't quite as quick as maybe like the first 8 or so riders. And I was just really wondering throughout that first lap, just like how you just stayed so calm and like you just really diligently worked your way up for pretty much the first half of the course until you caught Sana. What was going through your mind for the first part of the race?
Well, first of all, it's just that actually where nerves got in my way because I didn't clip into my pedal soon enough. Um, Again, that's nerves, and I need to figure out how to not mess up that part of the start. But for me, I've raced enough and I've had enough bad starts and I've ridden enough hard, muddy courses to know if you just relax, like, and you get through the cluster that it's going to be for that first half lap and you don't crash, everything's going to be fine. And sure enough, I didn't have a great start. It was a bit of a cluster at the beginning. Girls were crashing and slipping and sliding, and like we are all just trying to keep it upright. And it's hard trying to keep it upright and go as fast as you can on that course too. So I was just thinking about getting through safely. If I get through safely, no flats, no mechanicals, I'll be fine for the rest of the race because I've got the horsepower and I've got the skill. I just need to be patient. So I know that, and I think after so many years of racing, I just kind of fall into like I'll get there. I don't stress too much at that point.
Yeah, it was awesome to watch. You definitely did look like you just had confidence in the fact that you were going to get up to Sana, and you did. So
Yeah.
It's been since 2013 was your last Worlds podium. How does it
Yes.
feel to be like right back up there after a bit of a dry spell?
It feels good, but I mostly am just really happy with the season in general, and I'm happy that I have my health and I'm feeling strong and I'm riding better. I've fairly I figured out my asthma and allergies fairly well. I still have issues here and there, but for the most part, I've got that under control, even on some of the hardest courses. So honestly, I just feel good. I just really enjoyed racing. I had fun. The whole season in Belgium has been really good. I like the courses, and I've enjoyed staying here all winter. So I'm already actually looking forward to next year and kind of sad that the season's almost over for me. I'm going to race tomorrow in Maldegem, and then I race on Lille on Saturday. And I'm kind of wish I was able to stay for the rest of the season. Well, till February, end of February.
Yeah, and we will have Amalgam live on FloBikes
Oh, good.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Good.
So if anybody would like to tune in and watch Katie race tomorrow, we'll have that race. And, you know, there's quite a roster for this race. Sana is going to be there. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot is going to be there. Al Anderson. It's a really strong lineup in the women's race. What is the vibe like at these post-Worlds races? You know, we saw after Worlds, you know, there was some commentary going around that it was time for you to put your legs up and enjoy some wine. Is it you know, obviously there's such a build up to Worlds, and Worlds is the pinnacle of the season, but I'm sure that tomorrow won't necessarily be easy. Kind of what is the vibe like at these races after the World Championships?
It's much more relaxed. It's actually, I think it's the most fun time of year to race cross. You may not be able to tell when you're watching it on TV, but like the feeling at the cross races post Worlds is pretty fun. And then the competition, like we're still there and we're still like in it and we still want to win, but it's not as serious, I'll say. So it's just fun. I'm looking forward to it. I think the riders who continue to race post Worlds, we definitely kind of enjoy the night after Worlds, and I'd say partake in some alcohol, maybe.
Well deserved.
I had a little. Yeah, I had a little bit of wine, not much, and then I also had some ice cream from winning the DVV overall. I got enough ice cream to fill a little bit of the freezer, so I needed to make sure I eat some of that before I leave.
Nice. And then the last thing is, you know, you mentioned yourself that you are still learning things leading up to Worlds this year and working on your technique and just constantly trying to be a better bike racer. I think the big question on everyone's mind is are you seeing yourself towards the end of your career, or are you just gonna you know, keep on racing until it feels like time to stop, or you know, when have you put any sort of time limit on your career? That's poorly phrased. I'm trying to be sensitive here, but I think you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and then I get that question pretty much all the time because
Yeah.
I'm 39, like,
Right.
and I've been at this a long time. But I love racing my bike. I love the lifestyle. I love being fit. I'm still really excited to race. So honestly, I'm not ready to retire. Trek's still on board. They're happy to support me, and I'm happy, obviously, to stay with them. So right now, I'm just kind of enjoying it. If when I do retire, Trek will be the first people to to know. But right now, I'm gonna keep racing as long as I'm enjoying it and getting results. I'm definitely not gonna keep racing if I start getting slower and kind of fall back into not getting on the podium consistently. I definitely want to go out with good feelings and good race results, and at a time when it's my decision and when I feel like I'm ready to move on to something else. But right now, I enjoy it too much, and I'm still excited to race. Like I can't wait till race tomorrow, and I think that's pretty great after doing this for so many years.
Cool. Well, we look forward to watching you race tomorrow and watching you race in 2019. And thanks so much for being here with us today. And yeah, good luck tomorrow. And I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, thank you. Rest
Awesome.
up.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Man, American champ. Just keep on going. No end in sight. And
Yeah,
I love hearing that.
Yeah, I hope that she, it's great to hear that she hasn't put a time limit on her career or a time that she's still enjoying it and she's not gonna looking forward to hanging up her bike anytime soon.
Yeah, and why would you when you just had this season? So
yeah,
great. We'll be watching her tomorrow and again on Saturday.
Yeah. What else happened this weekend? I think we shouldn't just end talking about the Women's World Championship with Katie Compton because we had some other female Americans up there as well. Katie Keough and Ella Anderson both in the top 10.
Yes,
an amazing race.
6th and 8th respectively. So we had, 3 American women in the top 10 there. U23 also. Emma White got 7th, I think, in the U23. So like cyclo-cross is looking pretty bright for the American ladies out there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, I don't think Katie would ever say this herself, but, a lot of the younger racers would say that she's helped build that, American, women's scene, and we're seeing, it come to fruition and at Worlds this year. It's just incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, the men's elite race was also a bit of a showdown, a throwdown. Not quite as exciting as the women's race, but unexpected.
Yeah, element of surprise there, if nothing else. It was hard to watch for me, honestly, because just Vanderpool was on, it must have been the worst day of his season. I honestly don't think I've ever seen him look that bad on a bike.
Yeah, I was surprised to see Wout go away that early in the race, and hats off to him. I think it's got to be hard being the second, all season being the world champion, but then also being the second best bike racer in most of the races you're doing, and not second, by a small amount. He's still getting second by 2 to 3 minutes over who's ever in third generally, but to come out at Worlds with that type of form and just smash it, I think the attention was almost on how poorly Vanderpool did and less so on how well Van Aert did.
Yeah, and I've got to really tip my hat to Van Aert just on how he was able to just take his season in stride. We saw him a month or two back just put his hands up, skip a few cross races that he probably was expected to go to, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go train in Spain, get my head right. This season just isn't really working out for me right now, and I'm gonna figure it out. And he did. He showed up. I really showed everyone on Sunday, and that's something as surprising as it was to see Vanderpool just not there in the same capacity that we've seen all season. I wasn't that surprised to see Van Aert put on a performance like that. He knows how to show up on game day, especially at Worlds. He knows how to do that.
Yeah, it almost made me wonder if, these races that we've seen where he has not been able to ride in the same league and hold Vanderpool's wheel, if that was a result of the training he was putting in, and he wasn't necessarily focusing on those races as much as everything was just geared towards Worlds, and with a little bit more rest and preparation coming into Worlds, he was able to just ride at a level that we hadn't seen before. But I think the knock on Van der Poel has been that when he's not in the lead, he tends to give up. There's people say that he'll start sulking or lose focus, and there was maybe an element of that at Worlds, but I feel, you and I were talking earlier, we've seen him at races this year fall back and not get ruffled and get back into the lead and still win the bike race. So.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him this season, just how he's been able to take the few mechanicals and bobbles that he's had in stride, and there was a bit of that from Van der Poel, but he looked like he was on a bad day. I don't know if he ate a bad crepe for breakfast or what.
Yeah, and tomorrow at Maldigam we'll see Van der Poel line up again. Unfortunately, Wout won't be at Maldigam, but I wouldn't want to be lining up against Van der Poel a couple of days after he lost the World Championships.
No, I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, and we saw the same thing last year. He was runner-up at Worlds and then came out and just smashed Maldigam. Actually, it was a pretty highly contested race, but yeah, he is defending champ, and he'll be going up against pretty much all the usual suspects except for Van Aert.
Yeah, and then we will see the beautiful duel coming back together this weekend at the DVV and Super Prestige races on Saturday and Sunday, Quatten Cross and Hoogstraten, which will also be live on FloBikes. So hope everyone tunes in for those. And it'll be interesting to see if the dynamic has changed at all after Wout's win at Worlds and what that leads to this weekend.
Yeah, time will tell.
All right, well, road racing.
Yeah,
I guess we can't forget about road racing. It's
back. There is now a new big race in Colombia, the new 2.1 UCI Oro y Paz.
Yeah, and for a race that's only a 2.1, because it was brought to Colombia by some of the world's biggest cycling stars, Nairo Quintana, Rigoberto Urán, Fernando Gaviria. They brought all their friends, as well as some pro-continental Americans. We saw UHC there, and it's a first-year event. Has a good roster of racers, and not the most exciting parcours.
It's interesting. There are 3 World Tour teams there. They all seem to have brought GC rosters. You have climbers like Quintana, Henao, and
Alaphilippe's there.
Yeah, Alaphilippe there. So Edix, the first stage was today, and Edix just destroyed it. There's this new kid on Edix, Alvaro Jose Hodeg. He was the second to last lead-out guy for Edix, and he hit the front and just blew up the field. There was a gap behind fifth wheel. He ended up getting fifth just because there's nobody else left. So Gaviria won, Edix won 1, 3, and 5. Notable mention, Miguel Bryan.
Yeah, tell us about him. He got 10th today.
Yeah,
he's on Holowesko Citadel. Well, what else do we know about this? What else do we know about this young man?
There is. He's one of the guys that the American peloton just loves. He spends his time in Miami. If you look at his Instagram, it seems like it's equal parts riding bikes and just being on a boat. And the dude's just such a good bike racer. You don't want to. He's got kind of Peter Sagan-like skills. He'll be wheeling up hills, and you can see him just bust a bunny hop over a curb and mid-sprint if the need arises. So he's super, super talented guy, but just one of the laid-back, easygoing, fun riders. So cool to see him up there. Johnny Clark on UHC, just consummate pro in America. He's an Aussie. He was in the breakaway today. So yeah, some good hometown heroes over in Colombia.
The only stage really of note is a mountaintop finish in Manizales on Sunday. So we might see Miguel getting on the podium, maybe even if he's starting his week with a top 10.
Yeah. Possible.
Have to break the Edix Quick Step stranglehold, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes. Right now, they've got that race pretty much on lockdown.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that wraps up our show today. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you to Katie Compton for being live on our interview, and best of luck to her tomorrow in Maldegum, live on FloBikes. And yeah, tune in for Quad and Cross and Hoogstraten this weekend as well. It's going to be exciting.
More cross action to come.
All right.
Thanks for joining.